It was, I saw it last night. It was like 17, and then I saw it went down to 14, and then it was at $7 at some point, and then it was like way up there. Whoa, that's crazy. And then now it's $4 or $5, but still wildly overperforming. Is it like, it's like, I don't know, the Watsa, but it has charts. It's kind of the stuff no one's been paying attention to. It's super interesting to me. I like how you say income token, like INC. It could be income actually.
Yeah, I didn't. I put that together as I said. I was like, but yeah, dude, it's
Inkians. What do you think people should be called? Inkians, Inkanites?
Well, the thing that I kind of relate it to, like, way back in the day, there was this thing called Ample, and Ample had this geyser where if you provided liquidity in the geyser, you would earn more Ample. But then, like, you ended up losing money. Like, the Ample position was not so good, depending on when you timed it. But just like it kind of gets squeezed out, and then the liquidity position was not so good. But then the uni airdrop for just having provided liquidity in that system was like massive. And so it's like, wow, you never know. It's like, so even things that may have like, dynamics, like these, like where it's basically like subsidizing the yield. Right. It's like you're earning the fees, but just to like encourage more liquidity in a scenario where the liquidity provision may not be entirely profitable or is like max profitable as just like holding one or the other. It's kind of like a way to subsidize that yield for the liquidity providers. And so sometimes that it kind of works in both ways where like people use that as income and it's kind of like a net outflow. But who knows, like what thing may just suddenly appear to. And so I think that like, there's, even if things, maybe you're doing something and you're doing it at a loss, it's like in crypto, there's always a chance for something to happen and for it to kind of turn around.
Dude, opportunity mindset has been something that I've been seeing a lot of people just is, like you said, I know HEX price is down, I know PLS, all this stuff. I mean, even on, PHEX was like it may still be under a penny. Actually, let me check that. That was crazy. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, if this is correct, I know we're all low liquidity. Can't trust the prices a lot right now, but wow. How do you explain this? Like, how do you rationalize what has happened in the last few days?
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Like the low liquidity works in both ways. And also like no new inflows being able, like $30 million of inflows being locked up. And who knows where that gets distributed. It'll be distributed all around. And then some amount is there's going to be net outflows from that as well. So like, and it's so, and I think that probably like the gas impact probably caused a lot of people to be selling like their copies for Pulse. And so that might account for some of the PHEX going down. And also, I mean, it's like, it's factoring in the risk. It's like HEX runs on Ethereum, which has had, how many years of effectively flawless operation. Even the things that went wrong, it's not like anything has been a critical issue. The only problem with ETH is that it's so popular and so valuable that it can price out small users, but that's not really a problem. It's like more of like an outcome, I guess. And so, HEX running on PulseChain or on Ethereum, it's like there's, I guess, less systemic risk there. So maybe some of the risk between the copy versus the native one, maybe that's kind of priced in there. And just all the other, like on Ethereum, there's HEX and then there's Ethereum. Whereas on PulseChain, there's EHEX, there's INC, there's PLSX, there's PLS. So probably like amongst this cohort of users, there's a lot more competition for what you could sell your HEX for. Whereas on Ethereum, like, what are you going to sell your HEX for? I mean, the main thing people sell their HEX for on USDC or on Ethereum is USDC. So, so that's kind of going on there. I think people are probably feeling stress is amplified because, like, everyone's like, oh, when the copy happens, everything's going to pump and it's going to be 1-to-1. And it's like, copy happened, instant markdown, and like double whammy markdown with the copy. So now it's like the effective hex price is what, like 3 point something, and that's like near the bear market lows. So I think people are feeling, kind of bad about that. But I mean, that's markets. That's like what it's like. When I think that's where I think a lot of people might have got it wrong when they thought that like PulseChain was going to come and save hex staking. It kind of amplified the problem because not that it was PulseChain that did this, but like the main driver in the feasibility of ending stakes with gas is the hex price. And so, PulseChain kind of splitting that value across two different chains, and then also have one of which, I mean, as of now, it'll change over time, but like the liquidity on PulseChain is just quite low. It's kind of like it like double whammied the hex, like it made more hex stakes unfeasible to end right now. So I think people are probably kind of feeling a little sad about that. But I mean, that's the name of the game. Like gains, come with losses. Like you can't have gains without also having the chance for loss. And so, things
Volatility is the price you pay for
aren't always
going
to work out how you want.
Do you think we're going to look at this hex chart and just like hysterically laugh in the next 6 months, 1 year? Like looking at it, it feels like I'm in 2020 right now. Like looking at this any kind of hex chart, it just seems like not financial advice, everyone, of course, but like I look at this chart and think the market's mispricing it when I see this myself. What do you think in the 6 months to a year we're gonna maybe weeks, I don't know, but like can you see us looking back at this and be like, oh, remember when hex was at 006 again? Like remember when PX was 006? Like how do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like there's probably what's happening is like a more momentary dynamic, like combination of like effectively a doubling of the hex supply. Not really because they're independent, but like from a user's perspective, it kind of doubled, combined with now suddenly there's a bunch of other assets that people in the same user base now may also be demanding. It kind of makes sense that like initially it'll be low, and then and also I mean the thing with like people selling their hex for their PX for pulse for gas, that's another potentially short-term dynamic there. People wanting to get into the assets that you can mine the ink token with because that had been going up. Those things, just as like kind of the dust settles, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the main thing is just like the inflows, and it's like right now there's kind of a blocker in those inflows. And I think as that gets resolved, this may continue to go up. But also, I mean, like price can always go down. There's always it's like every day the people that had EHEX stakes ending, big ones from December of 2019, now they have two, and their EHEX is lower in price. And so like now that you may see a lot of active selling because like maybe a lot of people don't really have like much emotional attachment to their PHEX. Like I don't think the PHEX is really like fully kind of latched onto me just yet in the same way. Like when I think of hex still, I mean, I still think of EHEX. The PHEX, it's like, it's there. It's a nice bonus, but because I'm mainly staked, so I'm not really thinking about the short-term price of the EHEX. And also the, like the, like once the liquidity and like the prices are like reliable, I guess, it might kind of take up more of that brain power, but yeah, probably over time who knows what the price will be. I mean, I'm looking at like, so 0.06 hex, the price at, that was like peak euphoria in July of 2020 before a sell down to $0.002. Like, and it happened like twice. Like it bounced off that level. I mean, I know they're entirely different assets. You can't like analyze it in the same way, but like that level was like when Godwale put the bid on, and Hex pumped from the generational lows. It bounced off of $0.006.
Wow. Wow. It
So,
is. Just on the whole, like, not ability to. It seems like the whole ecosystem right now, where we just launched, and of course, like, there's multiple reasons for this bridge and all that stuff. There's just not a lot of flexibility to make a lot of moves, and it's not like you can just work it like it is on Ethereum. So it seems like everyone just wants PLS and PLSX because maybe they see that as the 10,000x even, and they see Hex. Oh, Hex is maybe another 100, 200x. That, maybe that's what they think. And is that a reason too? But like, how do you even? So if you can't get money through the bridge, that's why everything's kind of like stuck right now. And then is that one reason maybe why the prices are down too? What, nobody can really be effective trading right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like whatever value is in there, and like if it's just kind of reshuffling from one to the other, it kind of decays. As it just gets spread over more and more assets, and so the bridge, once like the funds get in there, then it comes down to where those funds go and how much is waiting to get out. So, say there's $30 million there, and say 6 million, so 20% tries to get out, so like the net amount is like 24 million. I mean, that can move a lot, but now it's like spread out over a bunch of assets, and also it's spread out amongst a very like tense and potentially like financially struggling user base, because like everyone who sacrificed is, there hasn't been like a massive markup on the Pulse or PulseX from sacrifices. Hex is down. So, I mean, the people that got into Hex early, they're fine, but the people that got into Hex around the sacrifices are down. And so that user may be more sensitive to any type of little pump to sell into, because maybe they can't afford to wait it out, or, and like, the starting point is a lot different from Hex. Like with Hex, like I looked back, I was reading through all of Richard's tweets from the launch, when his tweet that announced the Hex launch had 3 retweets and 5 likes.
I saw that.
So like, it's kind of, of course that thing can go up 10,000x when like an Ethereum billionaire Genesis block whale just puts the bid on. And so that makes sense. But with the, like now it's like, we're starting with like a larger base, which on one hand, it's more people that can be promoting, but on the other hand, it's just a lot more weight to pull up. Like there wasn't much weight to pull Hex up from the start because everyone FOMO'd in. Then those people staked. There wasn't a lot for sale. And then you can't really predict that like a billionaire just apes the price. And, so there's some kind of unique dynamics there. But I mean, the sheer amount of people that know about it, maybe that means that 5 billionaires ape into PulseChain.
Right.